Alright, today I'm going to go over the best builds for every single game mode. We're going to be starting from campaign to endless and into raids. Before we begin, I want to give a shout out to the JJ's Mapmaker for this video suggestion. If you are watching this, the JJ's Mapmaker, thanks for watching and tuning in, and thanks for the video idea. And if you have any video ideas for me to try and do, please let me know in the comments as I may do it in the next video. Now, let's begin the campaign mode starting from the weapons. For beginners, you want to get a legendary weapon like the dual guns right here. The zombie claws are also a great weapon, and the reason why a legendary is going to be good, because you only have to spend a weapon slot 50 times to get a legendary pity. And when you are a new player, you have access to this guides tab right here, where you can get access to 10 spins and 100,000 coins to help obtain a weapon. But if you've already started playing the game a little bit, you want to set your eyes on a mythic weapon, and a great mythic weapon will be the scissors. The scissors are great because they have perfect M1s and great cooldowns, and they do enough damage to kill all the special zombies in at least one skill move. A weapon like Anchor is also a good choice too, but you can't go wrong with getting any mythic right here. Now, of course, if you have been playing the game for a long time to get late game weapons, the best weapons for campaign will be weapons like Shoes and Reaper Scythe. The reason why these are the best are because they have extremely wide range and long AoE, especially the Shoes. The Shoes second skill can kill zombies all at once, making clearing campaigns extremely fast, thus granting money and spins a lot faster. And the Reaper Scythe just has very wide and damage over time AoE that when zombies walk into it, they just walk into it and die instantly. Now, when discussing perks, a good beginner perk will be the healer perk because beginners aren't used to taking a lots of damage. But if you've been playing the game for a while, a perk like Undead will be good because it gives you a little bit of a speed boost, letting you run through the campaign rooms much faster. But the best perk for experienced players will be the Vampire perk, as it lets you walk extremely fast for 40 seconds, letting you blitz through all the rooms. Now, as far as cosmetics for campaign, any cosmetic will do for a beginner and an intermediate player. I would just use any cosmetic you can get your hands on. Any stat will greatly help you. But if you are an experienced player, you want to use items that give you a coin boost, like Coffin Backpack and Reaper's Hat. And this recent update just introduced the Pirate Eye Patch, which also gives you a 5% coin gain. And as far as pets, similar to the cosmetics, if you are a beginner or an intermediate player, you just want to use the best pets that you can get your hands on, because any stat will be good stats for you. But if you are an experienced player, you want to use the Spooky Ghost and the Bat or a White Pigeon, as it also gives you walk speed, letting you walk faster. For experienced players, if you have the Reaper, I do not recommend using the Reaper if you have the Vampire perk, because its final effect down at the bottom, when you kill a special zombie, you get Strength 2 and Speed 3 for 3 seconds, which is nice. But if you have the Vampire perk activated, this just turns off your Vampire perk instantly. The Reaper is actually detrimental if you're trying to use it for campaign. So now, as far as passes, just like what I said for the cosmetics and the pets, you just want to use anything you can get your hands on. But if you are an experienced player, you definitely want to use Fortune and you want to use Speed together so you can get the Treasure Hunter boost. So for campaign, this is the best build for the fastest clearing, the fastest walk speed, and the maximizing the amount of coins you can obtain in each run. Now, moving on to endless, let's get into the weapons. If you are a beginner, I would not recommend bringing a legendary, especially like dual gun. Its third move is great, but I would recommend moves that have greater range, and you'll find those in weapons such as Anchor and Scissors. You want to find a weapon with lots of range because you don't want to be near the zombies whatsoever, because the scaling will eventually get so high that the vanilla zombies, they'll eventually start one-shotting you, so you don't want to be anywhere near them. Now, as far as experienced players, similar to campaign, the best weapons are going to be weapons such as Shoes, and definitely the Reaper Scythe reigns supreme in this mode. The second move alone is enough to just make this the best weapon, but it's also got 3 other great moves to utilize as well. Just like campaign, it's got a damage over time move that just lets all zombies walk into it and die instantly, letting you clear rounds in like 20 seconds. Now, moving on to perks, similar to campaign, for beginners, a perk like Healer is going to be perfect because you're going to be taking lots of damage in Endless. And for intermediate players, a perk like Undead and Last Hope are great choices, especially Undead because it's going to give you faster move speeds so you can keep away from those zombies. And the best perk for Endless for experienced players is going to be Damage Shield. This just makes you invincible for around 20 seconds, so it doesn't matter how strong those zombies are. As long as you have Damage Shield, you're ready for all those zombies to take you on. Now, if you are a beginner or an intermediate player, I recommend finding cosmetics that give you movement speed, such as the Grizzly Boots and the Cross Necklace, as it gives you 5% movement speed right here. The reason why you want this over things like health or damage are because those zombies, they don't have a lot of health, but they just deal lots of damage. So you just want to stay away from those zombies. Now for experienced players, I would definitely recommend Pumpkinhead and Reaper Scarf, as they each give you 10% movement speed, letting you run extremely fast and keep away from all the dangerous zombies. And of course, they're giving you lots of damage and lots of extra other bonus stats. Now, as far as pets, just like the cosmetics, you want to find pets that give you movement speed, such as like the goat right here, and you want to find pets that maybe heal you over time, such as the deer. So this is what I recommend for beginner or intermediate players for Endless. And things like Phoenix or Health or anything that just gives you movement speed is going to be great for this. Now, for experienced players, you definitely want to run the Reaper and the Spooky Cat together. Not only is Reaper giving you all these stats, the most important stat is going to be the 10 walk speed it gives you. And the reason we're running Spooky Cat is occasionally you're going to take lots of damage. It's going to happen every now and then. But having the Spooky Cat heal you over time is going to be so worth it. And it's going to be worth the wait, especially in between rounds when the Spooky Cat heals you for about 100 health. And lastly, for passives, if you are a beginner or an intermediate, I definitely recommend speed or cooldown reduction, as when you get these two together, you get the swift cast synergy, meaning that every time you use a skill, you're going to walk a little bit faster, which is going to help you keep away from all those zombies. But not only that, you're going to be able to spam your skills so the zombies are constantly dying. And I would even recommend this build for experienced players, as you don't even need the extra damage, as you're definitely doing enough damage on the zombies. They don't have a lot of health, you just want to stay away from them. And a great alternative to cooldown reduction is damage reduction. I know I stated that the zombies are extremely strong, that they'll kill you extremely fast, but damage reduction is still good to help you last a little bit longer in each Endless wave. After discussing all the gear, this is the best build for Endless. We got all the DPS we need with Reaper Scythe. We've got all the movement speed from Reaper, Reaper Scarf, Pumpkinhead, and the speed passive. And pairing the speed passive with the cooldown reduction passive lets us get swift cast. And we have great immortality using Priest and Damage Shield together. Playing cooldowns using Priest, V-Move, and Damage Shield when it's time for that boss round makes this a very perfect build for Endless. And finally, I'll discuss the best build for Raid. Raids are not beginner or intermediate friendly, so you definitely want to at least bring a divine weapon or any raid weapon, such as the bow or the Halloween sword right here. Raids are all about doing the most amount of damage, so you want the rarest weapons like Ghost, Spinal Blade, and Shoes. But the very best weapons are going to be Reaper Scythe and the Halloween sword. These are the two best weapons in the game. I recently done a video soloing the Shogun raid using every single divine and every single raid weapon together, and the two fastest weapons to do it were the Reaper Scythe and the Halloween sword. But if you want to see it for yourself, I will link that video in the description of this video. And I haven't discussed upgrades at all in this video because they haven't been relevant, but in raids you definitely want to go for upgrade, and you definitely want to go for at least 4 or 5 cooldown. But for Reaper Scythe, I went 7 cooldown, as this is going to be the best results for Reaper Scythe. I also haven't discussed traits either, because just as I said, they haven't been relevant. So the best traits are going to be critical damage trait and the prodigy trait. But now moving on to the perks, the best perk to bring will be the double damage perk. The damage buff it gives you is just insane, and there's just nothing else that compares it in damage. The only other perk I will mention bringing is the undead perk. If you are doing a raid and you have a friend who already has double damage, if you bring undead, you will have more DPS than him, because you will be able to spam your skill cooldowns, and you can fill your meter by doing damage, letting you have it almost infinitely. But in a raid solo context, double damage will be the best perk. As far as cosmetics, you want to aim for a perfect balance of crit damage and skill damage. And the perfect cosmetics to achieve that will be the Pumpkinhead and the Reaper Scarf. If you are not at the level to obtain these two cosmetics, then a great alternative will be the Pirate Hat and the Coffin Backpack. They are a step below these two cosmetics, as of course they are the best, but these are a perfect stepping stone into getting the greats that are right here. As far as pets, you want all in on DPS, so we're gonna go Reaper and Spooky Cat pet. You could bring the Spooky Ghost instead of the Spooky Cat, because it gives you 25% crit damage, which is insanely good. But I don't want to worry about my health during the raid fight, so I like to just stand there and just lay all my attacks without having to worry about dodging. And as far as passives, the best passive to bring will be the AP and the HP passive, so you can get the synergy of healthy power. This synergy is great because it gives you a 1.15 times damage boost on all your moves. Though this is as long as you're above 80% health, so that's another reason why I'm bringing Spooky Cat. The reason why bringing AP and attack isn't great anymore is because the Berserker synergy is only activated doing your normal skills and not activated from your V move. Using your V moves are everything in this game, and if you're not using something that buffs your V move, then you might as well not use it. Plus, you also have to do your skill 5 times just to buff one singular skill. Yes, it is a 1.0 7.5 times attack buff, but it's not worth it to only buff one skill after doing 5 skills when you could just buff all your moves, including your V move, using the AP and the HP buff. If you are still yet to get AP because of this game's abysmal rates to pull it, then bringing cooldown reduction is a great alternative, and you could bring possibly these two so you can get swift casts. So you could run around and chase the boss, such as Sword Jackie or the Reaper boss, if they're just running away or teleporting away from you. So this is a great alternative as well, because cooldown reduction is everything, so you can spam your skills. But after discussing all the stats, this is the best setup for raids. The only thing that could make this better is if I got critical damage on my Halloween sword, and if I had a friend to bring double damage so I could bring undead. But in a solo context, with what I have, this is the best setup right here. All the relevant stats in this build are crit chance, crit damage, and skill damage. Having a crit chance of 30% and having 50% crit damage and 45% skill damage is insane. Plus I have an extra 35% critical damage from my Reaper Scythe, so I'm going to be hitting nearly double damage when my crit procs with my Reaper Scythe. But that's going to be it for the best builds for every game mode. If anybody has any questions, no matter if you are a beginner, an intermediate, or a late game player, please let me know. If there's anything in this video that you found confusing, please let me help clarify it for you. I want this video to help everybody understand this game better so that they can have a successful grind to the end game build right here. Before I end the video, I want to mention that the next time I'll be streaming will be when this update releases, which will be at 9 a.m. Pacific Standard Time this Friday. So please convert to your time zone to see if you can make it, and let's experience the new update together. Thank you for watching, and don't forget to like and subscribe.